It was perfect. So good.
Being an Attitude Era guy, I hate to say it, but WrestleMania 40 was better than WrestleMania 17. Yeah, I said it. From the build, to the storylines, to the in-ring action, WrestleMania 40 may go down as the greatest WrestleMania of all time. That is saying something considering the card looked a lot different from what it was at the beginning of the year. With Brock Lesnar and CM Punk not being a part of the show because of their own reasons, many expected this year's Mania to end up being average at best. But the Great One and Paul Levesque were there to save the day, and they delivered a show for the ages. So today, let's see why WrestleMania 40 may be the best Mania, like, ever. Let's get into it. One of the most successful WrestleManias of all time. This WrestleMania was a major success for the company. Whether it's the viewership, merchandise, or the gate, WWE did record-breaking numbers. WrestleMania 40 broke the previous gate record set by WrestleMania 39 by a whopping 78%. A total of 145,298 fans attended the greatest stage of them all. The viewership was also up by 41% across both nights in comparison to last year's viewership. The merchandise was up by 20%, and Cody Rhodes sold over 1 million in merchandise, breaking his own record from last year's Mania. WWE World became the highest grossing and most attended fan event in company history. It was also the most socially viewed WrestleMania of all time, with over 660 million views on all social media platforms across both nights. In terms of generating revenue, WWE was on another level during Mania 40 weekend. Memorable build-up. I'll be honest for a minute. With the way everything transpired after the Royal Rumble, things were not looking great for Mania this year. Brock Lesnar being indirectly referenced in the lawsuit filed against Vince killed any plans the company had for Lesnar going up against Gunther at Mania. CM Punk getting injured during the men's Royal Rumble match altered his plans of facing Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. But the biggest change of plans happened when Cody foolishly gave up his WrestleMania spot to The Rock. The Rock vs. Roman Reigns is the last biggest dream match WWE could do, but this year wasn't the right time for it, especially when Cody is so damn popular with fans right now. Of course, this ain't the Vince era anymore, so WWE did the right thing by changing the plans and turning The Rock heel, and my god, what a great weeks of television we got before WrestleMania. The Rock was at his absolute best, and he used the one thing he is better at than anyone else to his full advantage, which is the ability to cut phenomenal promos. He did most of the work, and the tag team match that main evented Night 1 was set up perfectly. It also set the stage for what was to come in the main event of Night 2. When talking about the rest of the card, Paul Levesque was cooking hard. At least that's what the cool kids are saying these days. Drew McIntyre did an excellent job in building up his match against Seth Rollins. Drew's promos and the hilarious shots he took at both Rollins and Punk on X were hilarious. Both women's world title matches were given importance on Raw and SmackDown. WWE also did justice to both mid-card title matches, something that was missing in previous Manias. Sami Zayn being trained by Chad Gable to topple Gunther, and Kevin Owens and Randy Orton being annoyed by Logan Paul's presence. All of that was handled the way the company should have. LA Knight vs. AJ Styles was a match nobody should have cared about, but everyone surprisingly did. This is how a Mania build-up is supposed to happen. I can't even remember the build-up to Mania 17, apart from Steve vs. The Rock and the Triple Threat TLC match at this point. This is how a Mania card should be handled, and WWE should be given all the credit in the world for making people care about WrestleMania 40. And the show itself? It was a banger. WrestleMania 40 delivered big. The expectations were high going into the show, and it's safe to say that both nights delivered big. Night 1 started off great with Rhea Ripley beating Becky Lynch in a great back-and-forth contest. The tag team ladder match was a mega spot fest, and a creative way of splitting the tag team titles. R-Truth was the star of the match. He never misses with his comedic spots. Sami Zayn and Gunther gives fans the wrestling match of the weekend, and Sami dethroning Gunther was a feel-good moment. Sure, Gable would have been the more perfect choice, but there's no denying that Sami makes you feel certain emotions. The tag team main event delivered everything it needed to, and Cody getting pinned by The Rock was the right outcome considering what was about to happen on Night 2. I'll just skip talking about Jimmy and Jey Uso. You know the reason why. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre opened Night 2 with the over-the-top entrances. They had a 10-minute match and they went straight at it. Drew ended up winning the World Championship in front of a live audience for the first time in his career, only to lose it later on to Damian Priest after being attacked by CM Punk. This is one of the most memorable moments to open WrestleMania that I have ever experienced live, and this is how the biggest wrestling show of the year should begin. LA Knight and AJ Styles surprisingly had a good match. AJ gave Knight the best match of his WWE career so far. The US title triple threat match was fun from start to finish. I popped huge when Orton gave an RKO to iShow Speed. That was satisfying on so many levels. Bayley and Io might have put on the best women's match I've seen all year. It was great to finally see Bayley getting her flowers. And the main event of night 2? Where do I even begin with that? Even before all the surprise appearances that took place, Cody and Roman were having a solid in-ring contest, and by that I mean match of the year level stuff. We all expected legends to show up, but WWE executed everything perfectly. Jay taking out Jimmy, Cena taking out Solo, The Rock taking out Cena, and The Undertaker taking out The Rock. It absolutely felt like Cody assembling his Avengers to take down the Bloodline. In the end, it was Reigns' haunting past that led to his downfall. The sight of the Shield version of Rollins in the ring was enough for Reigns to snap. Finding Rollins in the same position he was in 10 years ago, Reigns chose to get back at Rollins for breaking up the Shield. This led to Cody taking advantage and finally finishing his story. This was not only a feel-good moment, but also one of the best WrestleMania main events of all time. Was it overbooked? Yes, and I loved every second of it. The build was great, almost every match delivered, and the main events were awesome. WrestleMania 40 is the epitome of what the biggest wrestling show of the year should be. As someone who grew up loving the Attitude Era, WrestleMania 17 holds a special place in my heart. However, I cannot deny that WrestleMania 40 made me feel like a pro wrestling fan again. The emotions that I went through were unlike anything else. By the time we reach the end of the year, I will consider WrestleMania 40 as the greatest Mania of all time. So what do you guys think? Is WrestleMania 40 the greatest WrestleMania you ever witnessed? Or do you believe that WrestleMania 17 can never be topped? Let us know in the comments below, and you might want to also check out some of our other awesome videos on the channel. Make sure to subscribe to JR Slobber Knocker for more.